Silas Whitmore had spent his entire life mastering control. From the polished floors of Wall Street to the silent corridors of his multi-million-dollar estate in upstate New York, he was a man who prided himself on logic, order, and results. Everything had its place. Everyone had a role. Emotions? They were unpredictable, messy, and best left out of boardrooms and breakfast tables. Except his daughter, Lily, had shattered that illusion the moment she was born. She had arrived in the world like a whisper, silent, delicate, and somehow unreachable. By age 2, while other children babbled and asked for juice, Lily watched the world with wide eyes and said nothing. Doctors came and went, each leaving a thicker file and fewer answers. At 3, she was diagnosed with childhood aphasia, a neurological condition that made verbal communication nearly impossible. At 4, Silas had already spent more on specialists than most families made in a lifetime. And still, Lily remained silent. Not crying, not laughing, not speaking, just silence. Her mother, Caroline, once a vibrant artist, fell into a quiet depression that mirrored their daughter's condition. Eventually, she moved to Paris under the guise of rediscovering her creative voice. Silas suspected the real reason was guilt or maybe escape. Either way, Lily never asked about her. She never asked about anyone. That was until the day Maya Green arrived. Maya wasn't the type of nanny Silas Whitmore usually hired. She didn't come from an elite agency. She had no long list of celebrity recommendations. She didn't wear pearls or carry a British accent that sounded like royalty. She wore sneakers, had deep brown skin, and carried herself like someone who'd learned to navigate a world that didn't always see her. He hired her out of desperation. Lily had gone through 5 nannies in under a year. Some had cried after their first week. One left without collecting her final paycheck. The others gave up slowly, growing more distant as Lily gave them nothing in return. But Maya was different. She never treated Lily like a puzzle to solve or a project to fix. She didn't attempt therapy techniques or quote child psychology books. She simply sat with her. She read to her in soft voices. She played music, not childish jingles, but full-bodied symphonies, jazz riffs, soulful ballads. For weeks, Lily remained silent. And then one morning, just 6 weeks after Maya had been hired, Silas walked past the grand music room and heard something that made him stop cold. Singing, a child's voice, high, pure, clear. It was Lily, and Maya was beside her playing a violin. Silas rushed to the door, yanking it open like a storm. The music stopped. Lily froze, panic flashing in her eyes. Maya quickly set the violin down. "Mr. Whitmore," she began. What the hell is this?" he stammered, his face pale. "Please," Maya said, "let me explain." "You need to tell me right now what trick you're pulling here," Silas barked. "Lily doesn't talk. She can't." Maya looked at Lily, who shrank behind her. "Mr. Whitmore, your daughter speaks. She always could. She just didn't want to speak to anyone who wouldn't listen." "That's absurd. I've hired neurologists, speech therapists, cognitive experts." "Exactly," Maya said softly. "They studied her like a case, not a child." Silas didn't want to believe it. He couldn't. Because if Maya was right, it meant everything he thought he knew about his daughter was a lie. And worse, it meant that the one person who saw Lily for who she really was wasn't him. He did what he always did when he felt out of control. He took action. "You're fired," he said coldly. Lily screamed. "No!" It was the first time Silas had ever heard his daughter raise her voice. She ran to Maya, clutching her legs. "Please don't make her go. She understands me." The words stung like a slap. He should have been overjoyed that she could speak, but all he felt was shame, guilt, confusion. He didn't know how to feel it, so he buried it under anger. "Pack your things. Be gone by noon." Maya didn't argue. She looked down at Lily. It's going to be okay, sweetheart. You're stronger than you think. Silas turned away, refusing to let her words take root. In the days that followed, Lily became a ghost in her own home. She refused to eat. She wouldn't leave her room. Not a single word escaped her lips. Silas tried reasoning with her, then bribing her, then threatening to take away her toys. Nothing worked. He even brought in a highly decorated therapist from Vienna. The man left within 2 sessions, muttering something about emotional fractures not being treatable by force. Then one morning, Silas received a letter. It was from a law firm. Maya was suing him, not for money, for custody. The courtroom was a media frenzy. Headlines read, "Nanny sues millionaire for custody of his own daughter." Silas sat stiffly beside, his legal team, his jaw tight. Maya sat across the aisle, alone except for her pro bono lawyer. She looked calm, collected. The judge, an older black woman named Judge Reynolds, raised an eyebrow at the opening statements. "This is highly unusual," she said, looking between the parties. "You're suing for custody of a child who is not biologically yours, Miss Green?" "Yes, Your Honor," Maya said steadily, "because I believe that child's emotional and psychological well-being are in danger." Silas's lawyer stood. "Objection, baseless and slanderous." "Sit down," Judge Reynolds said sharply. "We will hear both sides." Over the next 2 weeks, testimonies painted a haunting portrait. Teachers, therapists, former staff. One by one, they admitted that while Lily had received every material advantage, she had been emotionally neglected. A showpiece in a glass house. Not once had Silas attended a school function. Not once had he read her a bedtime story. When Maya took the stand, she didn't cry. She didn't beg. She simply described Lily, how the girl hummed in her sleep, how she memorized patterns in clouds, how she once spent an hour untangling a spider's web from a dying butterfly. "She is not broken," Maya said. "She is brilliant. She just needed to be heard." Silas couldn't breathe. He felt like the floor had opened beneath him. The turning point came when Lily herself took the stand. The courtroom went still. Lily's small voice echoed. "I don't want to live in a house that feels like a hotel." "Do you love your father?" the judge asked. Lily nodded. "But I don't think he knows how to love me back, not the way Maya does." It was the most honest moment Silas had ever witnessed, and it broke him. He left the courthouse without waiting for the verdict. Weeks passed. He avoided interviews. He ignored calls. He stayed in his study for days. Then one evening, he found a recording device on Lily's old toy shelf. He pressed play. It was Maya and Lily singing together. Soft, imperfect, beautiful. He wept for the first time since his daughter was born. The next morning, he drove to Maya's apartment in Harlem. She opened the door cautiously. "I'm not here to fight," he said. "I didn't win custody," she said quietly. "The judge ruled for you." Silas looked down. "Then let's both lose it and give it to Lily." He held out a set of keys. "Come back, not as staff, as family." Maya stared at him. "Are you serious?" "Yes. I'll sign over joint custody. I want her to have the mother she chose." Tears welled in Maya's eyes. "You've changed." "No," Silas whispered. "She changed me." Behind Maya, Lily peeked out from the hallway. "Daddy?" she said. Silas knelt. "I'm listening now, baby girl, I promise." And for the first time, her voice didn't tremble when she answered, "I know." If you believe every child deserves to be understood for who they truly are, not who the world assumes they should be, subscribe to the channel. Because when we stop seeing through bias and start hearing with empathy, we find that the most powerful voices are often the ones we've overlooked.